In today's video, I'm going to go over Medicare in its entirety, but I'm going to do this by showing you different charts and raw data so that you can make a decision on what the best plan is for you. Now, if you're turning 65 or you're coming off your employer plan and going on Medicare for the first time, you'll want to watch this video in its entirety because I'm going to take you through the steps of how to sign up for Medicare, the different plan Gs and plan Ns, the separation of Medicare Advantage plans to Med Sups, and the drug plans and dental, vision, and hearing plans. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Brian Monahan. For the past 20 years, I've been helping people who are going on to Medicare for the first time or who are confused about Medicare. If this video does not unconfuse you, I guess you would say, then leave it in the comment section, because when I do these videos, most of the time people call my office and they say, I've watched 10 other videos and I still was confused. And when I was able to look at your charts and get the numbers to what it's actually going to cost me and how Medicare works, the confusion went away. So I hope that happens for you watching today. So let's take a look at the screen. On the screen, we have Plan N and Plan G above it. Now, let me take you to one other screen first, because this is exactly the steps that you need to take when you're going on to Medicare. And I'll be quick with this. So if you look at this screen, you'll see I have in green, call your local Social Security office. I always tell people this should be your first step. Call the Social Security office, because most of the time, if you get someone pretty decent over the phone, they might book an appointment with you, but they'll be able to tell you what steps you need to take to get onto Medicare or not to get onto Medicare if you don't need it. But if you look on the screen in yellow, you'll see signing up for Medicare Part A and B. That is going to be your first step. But not everyone wants to sign up for Part B. So that's why you might want to call the local Social Security office. But let's say you know for a fact that you're signing up for Medicare Part A and B, and you want to start Medicare whatever month, the month you turn 65. Your first thing is going to sign up for Part A and B. And then if you look at the screen, you have two other decisions after that. Your first is going to be, do I want a Medicare Advantage plan or do I want a Medigap plan? That's going to be your hospital and medical insurance. Now, if you go the Medicare Advantage route, and I have this on another video, not on this one. This video is for people that already know I don't want to go Medicare Advantage. But if you go the Medicare Advantage route, it comes with everything that you need. Now, I'm not saying that makes it the best plan, but it comes with your hospital, doctor insurance. Many times it comes with a prescription drug plan and your dental, vision, and hearing. But let's say you choose the other side and you want a Medigap plan because you heard Plan G is the best, or your neighbor down the street has a Plan N. Well, when you choose that side, to the red side, the right side, you're also going to have to choose a drug plan and a separate dental, vision, and hearing. And in these charts, I'm going to go over those costs on this other screen. So the first thing that you must know, everyone who gets onto Medicare is going to pay the government something for this red, white, and blue card. That's what most people call it. It says Medicare Health Insurance Card, John L. Smith. But this is going to be your Medicare card that comes from the government. The average person, meaning if you're not a high income earner that has an IRMA, IRMMA, you're going to pay in 2026 $206.50 a month to the government. That, if you get a Medicare Advantage plan, if you get a Med Sup, whatever it is, you're going to pay that to the government. So just take that $206.50 and keep it in the back of your head that you're going to pay the government out of your Social Security check if you're taking one, or they're going to send you a bill, but that's going to them every month. Now, let's take a look at the other two plans. I left out Medicare Advantage. If you want to see the comparison to that, go to my video. I'll leave it in the description. That will have Medicare Advantage so you can compare those. But this is just if you're going the Medigap route, also known as Medicare Supplement. They're letter plans: Plan G, Plan F, Plan N, Plan High Deductible G. But here in this video, I'm going over G and N because I feel that these are the two best plans. They're also the two most popular plans. So let's take the premium for someone who is 65 years old. Now, this is going to be an average throughout the entire country. If you live in New York City, a Plan G is not going to cost $155. It's going to cost $400, something like that. And the Plan N is going to be $300 and something dollars. So you have to look at your zip code to get the exact prices. But in this, I'm going to show you an average so that you're aware of kind of what you're going to be paying per month. Now, what do you get with this premium? So as you can see, a Plan N is going to be $25, $30 cheaper, sometimes even $50 cheaper a month. So what's the difference between these two plans? Well, if you look at the hospital coverage for these two plans is going to be exactly the same. So some people say, well, what's the mild differences? There is no difference. When you're in the hospital, you're going to pay $0 with both of these plans. Your original Medicare, red, white, and blue, is going to pay 80%. Your Plan G and N for the hospital is going to pay the additional 20%. You'll be left with a $0 bill. Pretty good. Now, and keep in mind that's $155 a month for Plan G and $130 for Plan N on an average. Now, what about going to the doctor or the outpatient center? Well, for Plan G, this is the only thing that you're going to pay out of pocket. And for 2026, the deductible is going to be $288. You're going to pay that first when you go to the doctors, when you go to the outpatient center, whatever it may be. You're going to pay that. The rest is going to be $0, and I'll scroll down. Now, with your Plan N, you're also going to pay that $288 deductible, but there's going to be two other copays besides that, and I'll get into it. So let's scroll down a little bit. So if you look at doctors and specialists, with a Plan G, you're going to pay $0. There's going to be no copay. With a Plan N, you're going to pay up to $20. Now, some people say that, what does that mean, up to $20? Well, usually for your primary care physician, they're either going to charge you $0 or they're going to charge you $10 or something like that. Most of the time, they don't charge the $20. With your specialist, I've heard a lot of people say, well, my specialist doesn't even charge a copay. That's a fantastic thing, because basically you're saving all that money. But some specialists charge up to $20, but they can't charge over that as far as a copay. So that's the difference between G and N when it comes to doctors and specialists. Now, urgent care and telehealth. Plan G, you're going to pay $0. Plan N, you're going to pay up to $20. Same thing. Let's scroll down a little bit more. ER visits. This is the other copay. So keep in mind, the first copay is going to be up to $20 when you go to the doctor or specialist with N. G is nothing. And then ER is going to be a $50 copay for Plan N and $0 for G. But if you're admitted into the hospital, they waive that $50. But that's the second difference between G and N. There's only 3 differences, and I'll get to the third later on. But take a look at the rest of this. CAT scans, $0. Chemotherapy, people ask me this all the time, $0. If you go into the doctor's office and get infusion treatments, this is going to cost you $0 with both Plan G and Plan N. Physical therapy, this can be very expensive. For a lot of people, sometimes you have to go 3 days a week. For both G and N, the cost will be $0. There's no copay. Now here, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit. Skilled nursing. This is very big. Someone has a stroke, someone has a hip operation, whatever it may be. You go from the hospital into skilled nursing. You get 100 days at $0 cost with both the G and the N. This is super important because it is such a blessing when you have that many days of skilled nursing at $0 cost. And here's the thing, sometimes people ask me, well, how many times do you get that? If you go back into the hospital for 3 days and they deem you that you need skilled nursing again, you get a fresh 100 days. It's absolutely fantastic. So before I get into what the costs for the year, I want to scroll down here, scroll down this way, and then I'm going to scroll down and show you the Plan G first. All right. Let me scroll down just a little bit more. So as you can see, you're going to pay the $206.50 going to the government for that red, white, and blue card. Then for Plan G, premium, deductible, and copays. On average, $155 a month. This is for a 65-year-old. You multiply that by 12, obviously, because there's 12 months, and your cost comes to $1,860. Now, keep in mind, you have that deductible for the year of $288. So you add that $1,860 plus $288, and you get $2,148. Now, for medical coverage, that's all you're going to pay. So all you have to do is take your premium, add that $288. There's no copays, and that's what you're going to pay for hospital, doctor, ambulance, physical therapy, all of those things, skilled nursing combined. Pretty good deal. And I'll get into the drug plans and some of those other things in a minute. Now let's scroll down and take a look at N compared to the G. So now you see the Plan G, the total cost for someone who's paying a $155 premium is $2,148. What about Plan N? Well, the premium is a little bit lower. I did it at $130. Multiply that premium by 12 and you get $1,560. Add that same deductible, $288, and you get $1,848. Now what I did for this is I put that someone went to the doctor 6 times the entire year. If you're going to go more than that, if you're going to go 12 times, just double it. So $1,848 plus the 6 times going to the doctors at the top rate of $20 is going to be $120. If you're going 12 times, just make it $240. But if you went 6 times, it would be $1,968. Now let's add one ER visit to that. Most people only go to the ER once every couple years, if that. And you get $2,018. Now this is on an average. So let me scroll back up here and scroll over. If you see on this column, I have MOOP for the year. That's your maximum out of pocket. Now with a Plan G, you know exactly what you're going to spend per year. The reason being is because you take your premium, you multiply it by 12, and then you automatically just add that small deductible, whether it's $288 or it's something else another year, and you know your maximum out of pocket. But with the Plan N, you do the same exact thing, except you just add in your copays. Now you never know how many copays you're going to have because you don't know what your doctor's going to charge you. You know it's not going to be more than $20, but you don't know if you're going to go 15 times or 2 times or whatever it may be. But keep in mind, like I said, if you look at the screen, physical therapy and all those infusion treatments and chemotherapy are still going to be $0. So your maximum out of pocket for both of these plans is around the same. It's not going to be that much. If you don't, that much of a difference. If you don't go to the doctors that much, the Plan N is going to save you money. Now, floating around the internet, and if you've spoken to other agents out there, one of the big things was that Plan N does not go up in price as much as Plan G. I've said this on other videos. It used to be like that, but unfortunately, what people think is because Plan G is a guaranteed issue plan, that it goes up in price much more than Plan N. But I've done math on this. I've spoken to clients, and I've seen that they, in this past year, especially in 2025 and in 2026, Plan N and G tend to go up at the same percentage. Sometimes Plan N goes up even higher than Plan G percentage-wise. Sometimes Plan G goes up higher. So you really can't say I'm going to choose the plan N because it doesn't go up as much as the plan G. It just, I've looked at the numbers and that's just not true, unfortunately. That used to be the case. And so I used to put a lot more people on plan N and tell them, your premium's not going to go up as much. But that has changed. Still great plans, both of these plans. Just keep in mind, I've said this before on other videos. We have thousands of clients in my office, and I'd say 98% of them, if I had to come up with a percentage, are on Plan G or Plan N. That's how much I love both of these plans. My family members are on these plans. People who I care about, I put on these plans. These two plans, G or N. Let's get to the drug plan. So when you get your original Medicare and then you get a plan G or N, you have to attach a drug plan. And then if you want dental, vision, and hearing, some people choose not to get it, you can attach that. But you do get penalized if you don't get a drug plan, or if you don't get on your Part B Medicare at a certain time. So you're always going to want to get a drug plan. And some of the drug plans are zero premium. So even if you get your drugs from the VA or you get your drugs from like a coupon place like a GoodRx or Walgreens has coupons, or CVS, most of the time you want to look for the least expensive drug plan. And I have up here on the chart that most people 65 are not spending more than $10 for the drug plan. They're spending between $0 and $10 in premiums. If you're taking tier 1 or tier 2 drugs, we're talking about atorvastatin, lisinopril, these blood pressure, cholesterol drugs, levothyroxine, the generics for your thyroid. These are drugs that are under $5 for the most part, depending on what pharmacy you go to. So you're going to want to get on a real inexpensive drug plan, and you're not going to pay a lot out of pocket for those drugs. Moving on to dental, vision, and hearing. I have $10 to $40. Most plans are going to be $40, $50 a month for the DVH, they call them, dental, vision, and hearing. So you're really going to have to talk to your dentist. That's the main thing, and see what the best plan that he thinks his clients on Medicare, not Medicare Advantage, but on original Medicare, what they get. Now, some of these plans come with a gym membership. I get that a lot. It just depends. If you go to a really expensive gym, it's $100 a month. You might want to ask that when you're looking at these plans. Now, a lot of people would ask, well, how do you find what the best plan is? If you're a broker like me, you have access to broker websites where you have a list of all the companies and all the prices on there nationally. Some people watch my videos and they say, hey, how do I get those prices? Or I went on Medicare.gov. Medicare.gov is not, believe it or not, it's a government website. It's not always up to date. So we're able to go to different, not only our national quote engine, but go directly to the company and get the best quote for you for these plans. Some people say, well, agents do things for commissions, or are you choosing this company? We usually use the top 5 companies. I'm not going to mention them on the video because they might change, but we're contracted with 30 different companies, but we usually only use the top companies that don't raise their prices as much, that have great customer service, and our clients are happy with them, and they're lower in price. We want to save you money. That's the biggest thing. That's what every agent should do. Agents that care about commissions end up losing in the end anyway, and we don't do that. So I hope this video helps. There should be 2 other videos that you can click on at the top. My number is on the screen. If you can, subscribe to the channel, watch some of my other videos, and hopefully these charts helped you. I'll see you at the next video.